If you see something, say something is a common saying in Yobe State, which underscores the importance of citizens' involvement in security. This is one of the strategies adopted by the Yobe State government to ensure peace and the pride of the Sahel. Welcome to Impact Yobe, as we focus attention on security on this week's episode of the program. My name is Michael Oshoma. On the 18th of March, Yobe residents came out en masse to vote for their preferred candidates. According to INEC, Governor Buni later emerged winner of the 2023 gubernatorial election. The INEC National Commissioner in charge of Yobe, Borno and Bauchi states dismissed allegations that the commission had affiliated itself to a political party.
As a regulatory commission, INEC has no political party nor a candidate in any election in the country. INEC is of the people, for the people, and by the people. In fact, INEC is the purveyor of democracy in Nigeria, and we will always promise you to stand.
Section 72, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022 mandates the Electoral Commission to issue certificate of return within 14 days to every candidate duly elected under the law.
Today, I hereby, as the Supervising National Commissioner for Yobe, Borno, and Bauchi State, present in advance to His Excellency the certificate of return today, 29 March 2023, having duly elected and returned by the good people of Yobe State, who have entrusted you with the burden of responsibility of good governance and provision of dividends of democracy.
The Yobe governor-elect, May Malabuni, was at the INEC headquarters to receive his certificate of return alongside elected state assembly members.
It is gladdening that we, the people of Yobe State, have conducted ourselves peacefully and maturely in both the presidential and national assembly elections, as well as the governorship and state assembly elections, making our dear state proud. We have truly exhibited that Yobe State is the home of peaceful elections built on the concept of politics without bitterness, as propagated by our revered political icon, the late Alhaji Waziri Ibrahim.
Governor Buni has promised to provide more dividends of democracy for the benefits of his people.
We shall be more committed to improve on the achievements recorded in the last 4 years to make the next 4 years more fruitful and rewarding for our people. I also wish to assure you that we shall in the years ahead strive to strengthen the Yobe First policy for economic empowerment and to have value for monies expended on government projects. At this juncture, I appeal to you to continue supporting government policies and programs for the government to effectively and efficiently improve the lives of our people. Before I conclude this address, I wish to recognize and express my profound gratitude to all members of the All Progressive Congress family in Yobe State.
We will be speaking with the Special Advisor to the Yobe State Governor on Security Affairs, Brigadier General Dahiru Abdusalam, retired. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
So, how will you describe the security situation in Yobe State so far?
Well, first we'll give glory to the Almighty God, because the security situation has really improved in Yobe State. Prior to this time, the security situation was highly unpredictable. Nobody can say what will happen the next minute or the next hour. However, with the effort of the security agencies and support of the state government and the citizenry, the situation has really improved to the extent that the restriction of movement across towns in the state was moved. Is a good sign that security has improved within the state. And recently also the state government lifted the ban on riding of motorcycles in the south and north senatorial districts of Yobe state, which is another indication that normalcy has returned. The government has done a lot by creating security outfits and also empowering the security agencies through the provision of logistics for them to be able to carry out their tasks. And this has restored confidence in the citizenry. Now people go about their normal businesses without let or hindrance. And as you are aware, within the state, apart from the issues of petty crimes, which are normal occurrence everywhere in the country and also in the world, things have really stabilized. Schools have resumed. There is no place in Yobe state where schools have not opened at the moment.
Yobe state used to be one of the hotspots of Boko Haram insurgency. What is the situation like in terms of pocket of attacks?
Well, there's no doubt Yobe state is one of the most affected states by Boko Haram and ISWAP insurgency. That's the Islamic State of West African province. But an improvement on the security situation within the state. For instance, Gaidam used to be a hotspot. Gujuba used to be a very hot spot of Boko Haram activity. But all these areas are now quiet. Thank God, the conduct of Operation Desert Sanity and also Operation Lake Sanity by the Joint Task Force Operation Hadinkai contributed greatly in the situation we have achieved so far.
All right, what measures have you put in place to ensure peace and stability in the states?
You see, in security situation, the most important aspect is the intelligence. In the military, we call it getting into the enemy's or the adversary's decision action cycle. Unless you have intelligence beforehand of what the adversary is planning to do, you will not be able to counter it. Now in Yobe state, we have cooperation by the entire citizenry. Anytime there is Boko Haram movement from Borno state or any other part of the northeast, we receive confirmed intelligence through what the governor called native sources of intelligence. And this human intelligence have been very accurate, and it has helped us to nip the attacks or the activities of Boko Haram in the bud. And because of that, the state government has continuously sensitized the citizenry, encouraged them to pass information, and we had 776 telephone lines, which we distributed across the state to all the critical stakeholders down to the lowest level of the community, where we receive information about insurgent movements. And the state government is the one that pays for those lines. And thank God it has paid off.
A lot of states are having security outfits to keep their people safe. I mean, what is the situation in Yobe in terms of creating your own local security outfits?
Well, Yobe state is not an exception because the current situation is such that the regular security forces cannot be everywhere because of one, the paucity of resources, and then paucity of troops, and also the lack of knowledge of the local terrain and environment. For example, Yobe state government initially created what we call Yobe Peace and Vigilante Group. The Yobe Peace and Vigilante Group, after its creation, was deployed with the military. They serve as sources of intelligence. They provide guide to the military. And with that, we were able to achieve a lot. Subsequent to that, the state government established Desert Intervention Force, which is popularly known as Operation Habamaza. It's a police outfit that reacts to issues of insecurity because the major problem we have is the response time. Now the Operation Habamaza is an outfit that is on standby to respond to any security challenge any time of the day or night. And it has really paid off because the security situation, as I mentioned earlier, has really improved. And thank God, it is all due to the effort of the state government because the state government provides all the logistics, the vehicles, the allowances for the policemen. To support that, recently, the Yobe state government also established what we call the Quick Response Squad Vigilante. This is a vigilante outfit. In fact, it has faster reaction time than even the police and the military because they are always on standby and they are disposed at very, very strategic locations where they can quickly reach areas of incidents and then intervene before reinforcement could arrive and the situation is normalized.
All right, let's talk about citizen engagement. How are you involving citizens in ensuring that the security of the state is stable?
Well, it is very clear and apparent that security is everybody's business. Therefore, the state government ensures citizen engagement through stakeholders meeting, town hall meetings. In fact, the state government goes from the emirate level down to the village head level, where the critical stakeholders are engaged on the need to live in peace and have peaceful coexistence. Additionally, the traditional rulers are key players in ensuring peace and security within the community. So the state government has devolved that responsibility and authority to them. Most of the issues, apart from Boko Haram insurgency, are conflict over resources. For example, conflict over farmlands, conflict over grazing areas, farmers headers conflict. So now the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association and other similar organizations are all engaged, including all the trade unions in the state. They form groups and they meet regularly to appraise themselves on the happenings, and also they advise the security agencies because we make sure that the citizens are enlightened that if an incident happens and security agents are called upon, then the situation is bad. So before it happens, we must do all we can to address it and nip it in the bud. So we continuously engage the citizenry, and the government continuously move from local government, towns, villages, and also the non-governmental organization. For example, the Managing Conflict in the Northeast, which is a British Council initiative. We work hand in hand to ensure that conflicts are managed. And there are other organizations like International Alert. We also work with them to ensure that we manage conflict and reduce conflict to the barest minimum.
All right, let's talk about farmer-elder clash. What is the situation in Yobe State?
Well, for now, I think we have reduced that to the barest minimum. Usually, the periods we experience farmer-elder conflict is at the beginning of the cropping season and then during the harvest season. Right now, we didn't have many incidences of farmer-elder conflict at the beginning of the cropping season. Some of the farmers, out of some cultural beliefs, whenever they harvest their crop, they leave it in the fields for some time before they evacuate to their homes. And then the herders too go with their cattle to destroy. Now we have various committees from the village to the local government up to the state level where such conflicts are addressed. And so far so good, I think it has paid off.
All right, what about communal conflict? What are you doing to tackle this?
We don't have much of that. However, there are areas where we have had conflicts over like fishing rights. Two communities fighting over a fish pond. For example, in Jakusko local government area, we had that incident. In Gaidam recently, we have one, but the government has intervened. And where the people fail to agree to the terms of settlement, government takes over those resources. So, and all those areas are quiet.
What are you doing in terms of partnership with relevant developmental partners in order to make your operation smooth?
Well, you know, the developmental partners, or the development partners as they are called, have their various agendas. And we look at those whose agenda tallies with the state government initiative. For example, the state government has what we call Alternative Dispute Resolution Committee, of which I'm a member. And we use that to settle manual conflicts ranging from the family to community up to local government levels. In some places, we have boundary disputes between one local government and the other. And the committee under the state deputy governor has been managing those issues. So the most important thing we do is sensitization. We continuously sensitize the citizens on the need to ensure peaceful coexistence, because we gave examples and we showed them situations where conflict have resulted to nothing but losses. If we have conflict, at the end of the day, we'll be the losers. And then what you have toiled over the years to build and own will be destroyed within a twinkle of an eye. And I think the people have embraced peace.
All right, lastly, how would you describe the uncommon passion of Governor Mai Mala Buni in terms of peace?
Well, thank you very much. Governor Mai Mala Buni and the Hausa parlance is called Limam in Sulhu. Limam in Sulhu, Limam is Imam, somebody who leads, and Sulhu is reconciliation. So he is a governor who believes in conciliation of all issues. And whenever there is any issue, before it gets to full-blown conflict, he embraces whatever advice is given to him, and as a result, issues are tackled, and then we'll have an enduring peace in Yobe State. The most important thing is that the governor does not spare resources when it comes to support of security agencies. For instance, there is one major issue that affects enforcement of law and order, peace and security, and that is interagency conflict among the security agencies. But the state government has ensured that there is interagency cooperation, and the state government sponsors the relevant security agencies to hold meetings fortnightly to share intelligence and look at perspectives of security, law and order in the state. And by so doing, all the security agencies are carried on board, including the irregular agencies and the voluntary policing agencies. All of them are carried along, and that's why we have peace in Yobe. And I can tell you that Yobe is one of the most peaceful states in Nigeria at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming to the program.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. So much. We've been speaking with the Special Advisor on Security Affairs to Governor Mai Mala Buni in Yobe State, Brigadier General Dahiru Abdulsalam, retired. Thank you for joining us. With that, we have come to the end of Impact Yobe this week. Don't forget to join us next week for a fresh episode. My name is Michael Oshoma. Goodbye.